Aloha, and thank you to Ōlelo Community Television for giving me the opportunity to speak to you. Hawaii is the best place to raise children. We educate them and fill them with hope, encouragement, culture, and aloha. But then we drive them away for lack of opportunities, an impossible housing market, bureaucratic government, and a system that tells them no can do. I think we're all tired of hearing the same platitudes and political talk. Every election, you hear the same promises, but where are the results? There are 3 major Democratic candidates, but there are really only 2 options. If you're satisfied with the politics we've had, then either of the 2 men running against me can carry that forward. But if you are wanting more out of your government, if you want someone who will break the status quo, if you want to see action and real progress in housing and jobs, childcare and climate change, if you want someone who listens more than talks, someone who has actually produced results and led a successful business, then you understand why I decided to run for governor. I had the privilege of building a small laundry business into the largest in the state with over 1,000 employees pre-COVID. I have been in the CEO seat, having to make tough decisions, sticking to a budget, while ensuring our employees were well taken care of and satisfied with their jobs. This, to me, is how government should be run, with transparency, accountability, and urgency. There is way too much bureaucracy in our state government today. Red tape that keeps us from addressing Hawaii's tough problems that we keep talking about but never resolving. I intend to change that. First, with modernizing and making our state government more efficient, giving employees the tools they need to do their job faster and easier, transitioning from outdated and cumbersome technology systems, some which have been in place for decades. Our world has changed and continues to change by the minute, so we need to equip our teams so they can do their job. What can you, the public, expect from me? First, I will serve you. The decisions I make will always be for the majority of the people and not those with special interests. As a successful business person, I'm not beholden to anyone. Being governor is also not a stepping stone to the next election. At age 66, I feel fortunate to be able to make the tough decisions needed so we can move in the right direction. Here are my top priorities and how I plan to address them. We need to provide some immediate tax relief to help our residents now. I would propose an immediate suspension of the general excise tax charged on food, medicine, and diapers for those families making up to $100,000 a year. Secondly, I would suspend the state tax on gas immediately. People need relief now, and this is one solid, effective way to provide it. On affordable housing, I would plan to work with the legislature to utilize underused state lands to build houses. What kind of houses? First is rent-to-own. For those who cannot come up with a down payment, our rent-to-own proposal allows tenants to pay rent that accumulates over the years. And when it reaches the value of the house, the tenant becomes the owner. This is just one example of my affordable housing program. We also need to do more to support our small businesses. Many of them local, family-owned, have gone under. As governor, I would work with the legislature to create a lower GE tax for businesses that gross less than $5 million. Nonprofit organizations are also the safety net for many in our community. We must ensure their continuity. I would work with the legislature to create a community reinvestment program. This program would require businesses to designate a percentage of their annual revenue generated from sales in Hawaii to these nonprofit organizations. This is how we create a sustainable community business model. These are the kinds of new ideas that a business person and entrepreneur brings to Hawaii's government, and there is no reason why they cannot be acted upon. All that is required is leadership, courage, experience, and the urgency to act. I promise you that if I am your next governor, I will complete this commitment to you. I will devote all my skills, my determination, and my leadership to bring our children home, keep our Hohana together, and bring Hawaii back to the place we all love. Mahalo.
Aloha, I am Kahele, a local boy raised on Hawaii Island in the last native Hawaiian fishing village of Miloli'i and in my hometown of Hilo. I'm a graduate of Hilo High School, Go Vikings, and a proud product of our public education system. When I was 24 years old, just months after graduating from the University of Hawaii at Manoa with a degree in education, I enlisted in the Hawaii Air National Guard. I raised my right hand and took an oath to serve and protect you, the people of Hawaii. I was commissioned as an officer in the United States Air Force in February of 2001, and over the next 15 years, flew the C-130 and commanded dozens of C-17 combat airlift missions into Iraq and Afghanistan. When my father, the late State Senator Gil Kahele, passed away unexpectedly in 2016, I was given the chance to serve again, in a new way, in elected office. Going into politics was never part of the plan, but life rarely ever goes exactly how you plan it. I am applying to be the governor of Hawaii because I strongly believe in serving my community. I also strongly believe our state is at a crossroads. From the state Senate to the United States Congress, I have seen and experienced these challenges firsthand. Public education, housing, the economy, tourism, the military. Hawaii's moment is now, and we cannot wait any longer for change. At the highest levels of our state, we need a leader who understands your struggles, who can bring people together, who is not beholden to lobbyists, special interests, corporations, or wealthy mainland donors. You, the people of Hawaii, deserve a governor who truly understands our island values of kindness, of respect, of inclusiveness, and aloha. A governor who will be a catalyst for change and who will lead by example. A governor who will be compassionate, who will listen, but who will also be decisive. A governor who can communicate with clarity and purpose. A governor who can give people hope and inspire the next generation of Oiwi leaders. A governor that will fight for Hawaii and all its people. And that's why I stand before you today. A proud native Hawaiian, a combat veteran, someone who has dedicated half my life fighting for the people of Hawaii. I am excited to be running for governor. And as your governor, I am committed to seeing through the defueling and the permanent shutdown of the Red Hill bulk fuel storage facility. But I can't do it alone. And this election is not about me. This election is about you. So if you are ready for change, if you are tired of the status quo, I'm asking for your support and I'm asking for your vote. If you are ready for hope and opportunity and to believe again, let's give hope back to the people of Hawaii and inspire a new generation of leaders who will march this great state forward to a better and a brighter day. Mahalo nui loa and aloha.
Aloha. This is Dr. Richard Kim, Democrat, running for governor. How is my candidacy different and unique? Among other things, 1, I'm the only candidate who has been willing to give in the candidacy if I can find better quality candidate. 2, I'm the only candidate with specific COVID-19 two-track action plan to control and or eradicate in Hawaii. So among other things, keikis don't have to wear masks at school. Last 2.5 years of pandemic has revealed lots of flaws in our society. Especially, pandemic management by the officials was utter failure. And they basically abandoned us since Delta invasion. Sadly, media have been silent and rather in cahoots, especially with Josh Green, who had willingly caused mass casualties in Delta Flightgate. In my COVID two-track plan, although tightening our ports with more screening is necessary at the same time, to control within Hawaii, we want to test everyone together, perhaps 2 weekend days, Friday afternoon and Sunday morning. If not successful, we'll do it again the following weekends until we eradicate the virus for no case for about 10 to 14 days for Omicron. This can be self-reported, all voluntarily, on mobile app, and self-isolated if needed, without requiring any lockdown. Secondly, for all travelers coming to the islands, we test them before boarding and test again following morning after arrival. If cannot be done before boarding, test during the flight and mask mandate during the time and until testing in the following morning. The protocol may need to be adjusted and changed accordingly as necessary. But these methods would become benchmarking and guidelines for possible future invasion by any other variants and microbes. 3. I'm the only candidate with specific media reform plans. Among others, Journalists' Labor Union and Media Mediation Commission for General Public. My plan totally guarantees First Amendment right of media, their freedom of speech and press. But they come in only when they make fake news. 4. I'm the only candidate who promote emotional growth amongst us. And we also want to implement emotional health curricula at our schools. Hawaii is sick, and we need treatment. Especially, we need more healing from the pain we have not been consciously aware. 5. I'm the only candidate with much bigger picture with more specific plans in pursuing self-sustainable economic growth. We are facing stagflation due to pandemic, and boosting economy while diversifying to self-sustainable levels is necessary. In that, we need to boost transportation, bringing back ferries, make roads like H4, H5 freeways, and connect Kaena Point. If need quick revenue growth, we may want to bring Las Vegas casinos to the islands, but not in Waikiki. And affordable housing may not be possible without enough revenue growth, no matter how good the plans are. In order to reduce cost of living, we need to sufficiently grow our own foods, make our own goods, produce more cost-effective alternative energy like nuclear power. As Jones Act alternative, we also want to build U.S. port, like in Johnston Island, so we reduce shipping costs to and from Western Pacific regions. Also, to control ever-increasing house price, for example, we want to implement Aloha Score, in addition to FICO Score. So non-residents cannot buy Hawaii property only with money. Please refer to my plan, Aloha Department, and Aloha Court as well. We build our own Hawaii nation within nation, so we become independent and interdependent with federal government. In conclusion, so far, I haven't found any candidate who can do better and also honor and carry on with my plans. Please vote for Richard Kim for your next governor. Thank you very much. Mahalo nui.
Aloha, everyone. I'm Clyde McClain Lewman, also known as Mac. I'm a candidate for governor of Hawaii. My platform is survival, surviving into the future. My main slogan is food is freedom. We need a statewide and state-supported home gardening program that would include food boxes, converting grass to gardens, and expanding the community garden program. We need thousands of more fruit trees. The state and counties will create a website indicating the best crops to plant in different locations and will include the latest gardening information. We will have hundreds of teams of knowledgeable gardeners going to homes to assist setting up your garden. There will also be groups of harvesters to assist in harvesting your crops if you need assistance. The Hawaii state budget allows approximately 1/3 of 1% for agriculture. This will be substantially increased. We need to teach more gardening at all school levels. Gardening needs to become a part of our daily lives. With the world population surpassing 8 billion this year, time is of the essence. Population scientists believe world growth will stabilize at 10 billion, but could go as high as 12 billion. It could happen this century, and it is not sustainable. The world will continue to sink deeper and deeper into chaos. Hawaii's isolation in the middle of the Pacific Ocean provides us with a level of security and protection most do not have. We need to protect ourselves. While we become more food independent, we can consider becoming a separate nation or kingdom. We can be of greater service to ourselves, to the United States, and to the world as a separate nation. We can control immigration and growth as more and more people from all over the world start seeing Hawaii as a haven like many already have. We need to come together as one people. We do not have the time to sort out cultural and ethnic differences. We are human beings. We can negotiate and mutually supportive and acceptable relationships with the United States government. We can establish our own economic system and create our own money currency. It is not impossible. We need a more participatory, unicameral, no-party political system, no Republicans and no Democrats. Nebraska is the only state that has a unicameral state legislature which is made up of only senators who tend to develop a closer relationship with their districts. As governor, every bill that crosses my desk will be assessed based on whether it brings us closer or takes us further from independence and sovereignty, whether it makes us stronger or weaker as a community. Please look at my website, mac808.com. First read the homepage, next on the dashboard click blog. In closing, I want to read this TikTok posting. The founder of Dubai, Sheikh Rashad, was asked about the future of his country. He replied, "My grandfather rode a camel, my father rode a camel, I ride a Mercedes, my son rides a Land Rover, my grandson is going to ride a Land Rover, but my great-grandson is going to have to ride a camel again." We need help from Native Hawaiians to survive and to be happy living on a few small islands in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Let's build some sailboats and let's have fun. Mahalo.
Aloha, my name's Lynn Mariano, and I'm a Republican candidate running for governor. I was born and raised in Kalihi and graduated from Farrington High School before going on to graduate from Chaminade University and earned my military commission at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. During my time in the military, I've had the honor to serve in various levels of command, including acting battalion commander to a unit serving in the combat zone. And later, I was handpicked to support the establishment of the Army Special Operations Command. After my retirement from the military, I started working for the federal government, where I took a position as the Deputy Director for Physical Security at the Pentagon. During my time there, we completed projects ahead of schedule and under time and under budget, which is largely unheard of. My efforts in managing teams is still visible today when you look at the upgrade physical security systems at the Pentagon. I'm proud to say that I was directly involved with that with my team. Shortly after 9/11, I traveled the country and worked with local, state, and federal organizations conducting counterterrorism exercises and finding ways to work across complex bureaucratic lines, which resulted in increased interoperability. When I returned home to retire 7 years ago, I was called back again as a consultant with the Department of Defense as a continuity of government and continuity of operations subject matter expert. Besides my current responsibilities to help manage emergency contingency plans, I'm also playing music for kupunas and hosting Bible study, and active as the Vice President of the Moana Pacific AOA Housing Board, and especially involved with numerous veteran support groups. I serve as the Vice President of the Special Forces Association and the Commander of the Veterans of Foreign War VFW Post 8616 in Waikiki. While my current calling to serve as governor is a result of frustration, I feel about the challenges we all face here at home. Service to our communities here on Oahu is not new to me. I first was involved with the local politics shortly after high school, where I served on the very first neighborhood board under Mayor Frank Fossey. I ultimately pursued my military career, where I learned the values, cultures, people, and the different economic systems and how different government systems work by returning home to serve, as always, in the background of my mind. Now that I'm running, I am focused on 5 specific pillars of my platform: making Hawaii affordable, caring for kupunas, rebuilding our aging infrastructure, revising our education system to one that promotes school choice, and dealing with the increased homeless population. To make Hawaii affordable, I want to balance the budget and eliminate wasteful spending. I want to streamline government processes and reduce the bureaucracy that locals have to deal with. I want to diversify our economy by reintroducing farming, fishing, and agriculture industry so that we can be self-sustaining. Finally, I want to modify the Jones Act, a holdover from before, where Hawaii was a state that places unnecessary financial burden on taxpayers for purchases that they make here in the islands. I believe that modifying the Jones Act will be able to significantly reduce our current costs that are endured by families across the Aloha State. To take care of our kapunas, I want to improve their housing options and find ways to provide tax breaks, which will make the senior care and housing more affordable for them. They shouldn't be burdened with all these outrageous costs to live out their lives, and frankly, they deserve better. Our infrastructure is crumbling and in many places out of date. Our roads are horrendous. Our bridges need a repair. We continue to face sporadic rollout. Our Board of Water Supply seems to be the busiest state-run organization on Oahu. They are constantly responding to water main breaks and outages. We can't keep putting off these repairs. We are overextended ourselves already. The education programs that we offer our next generation to the leaders is subpar. I'm a proponent of school choice, which will offer students a menu of options to choose from. Furthermore, I want to establish tax credits, which provides incentives for our best and our brightest to return home after leaving for colleges and employment opportunities rather than out of state, here in state. For our homelessness, I want to help develop the dignified long-term solutions that include mental health and drug treatment programs. We frankly need to enforce current laws and not let the homeless population take over public areas funded by our taxpayers. We need to restore full public access to our parks, walkways, and public areas. We can do better. I can tell you, corruption is running rampant. You can see it in the news on a continual basis. It's time to stop all the talk. It's time to have a leader that's willing to take the action to work for you and to serve for you. I'm that leader. My name is Lynn Mariano, Republican running for governor. Mahalo and aloha.
The system is broken. It doesn't benefit the people of Hawaii. It benefits special interest groups and the corrupt politicians that enable them. We have high taxes and low-paying jobs in the greatest state in the U.S. This has happened because the large out-of-state companies have made our politicians dependent primarily on tourism, yet without this creating high-wage jobs and careers. To solve this, we need to put Hawaii first for once. High-paying, sustainable jobs. This is the only way that the people of Hawaii and our children can win over the long term. We build sustainable industries around the top issues of Hawaii. We invest in farming and agriculture, technologies like the blockchain, and promote Hawaii-made and Hawaii-grown products to the world. Lower taxes on residents. Reform the GE tax to exclude food and medicine. And by shifting the tax burden to the out-of-state beneficiaries, tourists, and companies that profit here. End corruption and corrupt practices. We audit each department and find what's working and what's not in order to fix this broken system. Aloha. I'm Paul Morgan, candidate for Governor of Hawaii 2022. I am committed to Hawaii first. I am emboldened to fixing the broken system and ending corruption. I will achieve economic recovery, and together we will create sustainable solutions to solve Hawaii's biggest issues. I commit to Hawaii first for your family and for mine. To achieve a market of housing that's affordable, we need to do two things. We need to increase inventory and regulate the buyer's market. To increase the inventory, I will do an immediate review of current projects in the planning phases at the state and county level, which will reveal all of the government red tape. Our administration will work with developers, lawyers, and the county mayors to streamline these projects to get them in motion. We will explore the new building technologies and products that have been proven to work. We will exhaust federal resources and programs to lower the overhead of these projects. We will also explore ways to create a housing market that is truly affordable through bifurcation. Are you tired of seeing corruption headlines the news each week? Are you tired of a system of government that doesn't function properly and serve the people? Are you tired of seeing your tax dollars misused and mismanaged? I am Paul Morgan, running for Governor of Hawaii in 2022. I am here to put Hawaii first. Think differently on August 13th and vote for me, Paul Morgan, to end corruption, fix the broken system, and better manage our tax dollars. Almost 10 years ago, I made Hawaii my home. I cannot think of a better place to raise my children and live and thrive with my family. Here in Hawaii, we have everything we need to sustain our economy. Join me on August 13th and let's put Hawaii first. Vote Paul Morgan so we can begin our economic recovery and build sustainable industries around the top issues we face here in Hawaii. I am Paul Morgan, candidate for governor, and I approve this message. Think differently on Saturday, August 13th, 2022, and vote Paul Morgan for governor of Hawaii. Aloha and mahalo.
Aloha, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Moses Paskowitz, and I'm running for governor. My father came here in 1939 for surfing. He fell in love with the land and its peoples. His motto was to serve. I declare before you all that my whole life, whether it be long or short, shall be devoted to your service and the service of Hawaii, a large ohana family to which we all belong. But I shall not have strength to carry out this resolution alone unless you join in it with me, as I now invite you to do. I know your faith will be unfailing given. God, help me make good my vow, and God bless all of you who are willing to share in it. The things in which here before I have promised, I will perform and keep, so help me God. Aloha. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Aloha, my name is Keleionalani Taylor. I am a daughter of Hawaii and I'm running for governor of this great land that I love dearly. Hawaii is more than a home to me. I spent 2 decades away, and the longing that I had to be back to this wonderful place that I was born was the greatest hunger I've ever felt. And so I'm happy to be here with you today, talking to you about the great place that we live in together. And I'd like to talk about some of the things that everyone knows, that everyone feels, but not everyone really wants to talk about. And this fundamental concept regarding the hidden agendas of the majority of politicians is what stands in the way of our overall success as a people and as a nation. The average politician, the status quo politician, leads their political voters to believe that they can change the quality of their life and economical reality from political moves that they will make, moves that will be inspired by how much they care about the community. However, mainstream campaign that everyone is used to seeing comes without specifics, just that they know how to do it and that you need to trust that they will. What I see is a big piece of the puzzle that's missing. I see opportunities for the people of Hawaii to realize their potential on a higher level. And I say, let's build something. Let's build something worthwhile, and let's build something together. When we talk about the economy, let's focus on ecosystems that offer more opportunities, more ways to grow. Let's get specific and see how we can inspire and assist our community here in Hawaii to realize their larger potential through advanced education and entrepreneurship. I want you to see what I see when I dream big for Hawaii. And breaking the rules is what it's going to take, and everybody knows what I'm saying when I say this. Our political climate creates the modern-day politician that is, in most cases, doing what they're doing for the wrong reasons, not for the people, but for their own financial gain and upholding an image that they can't live up to. Our predecessors in government have certainly proven this. And this environment that we've grown accustomed to or normalized, of course, creates adversity to change because real change can disrupt big business, which funds and guides the modern-day politician. We all know this. While I'm here with you for just a few more minutes, let me give you just one example of how the redirections of funds could be of such a huge benefit to all of us. Because I believe so strongly in the spirit of the people in Hawaii, this is something I am very passionate about. Let's talk about advanced education and technology innovation, which goes hand in hand. As we all know, when it comes to the area of technology innovation, the best in the world are sought after and founded by big business, the industry giants. What a shame that our best and brightest would never even consider putting their ideas into raising the level of economic potential for all through an improved educational process. There's so much that can be done in our educational process that if we just had focused effort from the top brilliant minds going to work on this, things would go great. The sad truth is, they don't consider this option because the politicians in charge don't care enough to make the changes needed to be attractive to the people that could really make a difference. This is not just true in the area of education, and this is just one example of what if there was real change. This corrupt environment affects everything from healthcare to housing to economic opportunity across the board. Billions of dollars are spent every day to improve the lives of big business and not for the people. I want to be able to make the brave moves that open Pandora's box to what's really going on. I want to fight for the people. I have no interest in behind-the-scenes ideals politics. My mission is to break all of the political status quos, shake things up, and show the people that there's a better way. I'm running for governor of the state of Hawaii as nonpartisan, which is always the underdog. But this is the only way I can take myself out of the political fog and keep my vision for the people clear. As your governor, I will be focusing and fighting for protection and preservation of the land, disruptive change in our educational process, bringing life for greater financial opportunities for the people, fighting corruption on all fronts, bringing transparency and accountability to light. I want to work together with you to make Hawaii better, stronger, and ever than before. And I want to fight with you to give back to the people. Follow along my journey with updates on forthepeopleofhawaii.com or taylorforhawaii.com. Mahalo.
Yeah, hello everybody out there. I'm Walter Woods. I'm running for governor of Hawaii, the Republican Party. I've worked for the bus company for 38 years, so I need your help to do this, to go on. So please help me. My first agenda is helping the homeless people. They need help. They need our help. And the rail and the pandemic and the TMT, all that has to fall in place. So with me, the TMT, we have to tear down the old one, and then hopefully we can put the new one in. And we need the people's input about that. And the next is the rail. I want to stop the rail at Ala Moana. It'd be easier that way. And then the people still can catch the buses and get to Ala Moana. That would be a big thing. That way we can save more money and we don't have to borrow more money, because it's a big monster for us right now. And the next thing is pandemic. We need more help on the nurses and to help them get this thing through with us. And then the homes, we need more homes for the people, the homeless people and the kapunas. We need to help them a lot and try to make affordable homes for the people of Oahu. We need that a lot. We gotta help the people. And I'll try to cut the taxes down as much as possible and do the best I can. And the next thing, we gotta work together in the Republican Party. We gotta work together to get this thing done. We all need each other's help. So in time, we must work together and be together and unite us, the Republican Party. Okay? Thank you. I need your vote. Please vote for me. Aloha. Thank you very much.
Aloha, I'm Keith Amemiya, candidate for Lieutenant Governor. I'm running for Lieutenant Governor because we need change. I'm the only candidate who's not a career politician or a lobbyist, and I'm the only candidate who has executive leadership experience where I've led large statewide organizations with large budgets and numbers of employees. I'm also the only candidate who's dedicated his career to public service and worked directly in communities statewide throughout my career. When I was the executive director of the Hawaii High School Athletic Association, I visited all 98 high schools across the state, as well as their surrounding communities many times, and therefore got to know these communities well. It was this experience that helped me develop the skill sets to bring people together to solve problems and gave me the motivation to run for office so that I could fight for people without a voice. And finally, I'm the only candidate with a plan to clean up corruption at the Capitol by imposing term limits, banning fundraising during the legislative session, ending financial conflicts of interest, and requiring legislators to follow sunshine laws so that we can begin to meaningfully address the issues that matter to all of us, such as affordable housing, homelessness, and climate change. Our elected officials have failed us. Hawaii has become too expensive for the vast majority of our residents, and kama'aina are leaving the state in record numbers. It's time for new leadership. As your next Lieutenant Governor, I'll fight for working families statewide so that we can all continue to live, work, play, and raise a family here. Mahalo for watching, and I humbly ask for your vote. Aloha.
Aloha, my name is Tae Kim. I'm a 47-year resident of Hawaii and 30 years practicing attorney in Honolulu. I'm running for Lieutenant Governor for the state of Hawaii as a Republican. I believe every resident and every citizen of this great nation owes a duty and responsibility to serve our public office. I believe public office is not just for the few. It's not for one particular party or the other. Public service is for everyone and anyone that cares about what's going on and wish to contribute their thoughts and their hard work into serving the people of Hawaii. But most importantly, after service, please leave for the next generation, for the next person to pick up where you left off. Now, there are many issues pressing Hawaii, everything from public health and safety, socioeconomic issues, and there are just many issues, including renewable energy. What I wish to focus on today in this message is to address homelessness. Homelessness is related to so many other issues that we're facing. Homelessness goes to public safety and health. Homelessness goes to our socioeconomic needs, and we need to address them. We cannot have homelessness be rampant as it is today. Homelessness is not just for the town issue or the Honolulu metro issue. Homelessness faces a dire need everywhere, in Kapolei, in North Shore, Hawaii Kai, and any and every shopping center, there are homelessness paddling for help. And we need to get away from handouts. We need to have hand up, because handouts, who does handouts benefit? Handouts benefits people in power, simply giving out handouts, keeping the people in their position. That should not be the way to do it. Hand up, giving them an opportunity, better opportunity to get out of the position they're in. And we need to do it now, and we need to address it. It doesn't seem like there is a concrete issue or concrete way to address homelessness, and we must address it. And to address it, we need means to do it. Now, our government talks about having surplus, giving people back, $300 in check to every resident. Now, that to me is misinformation, because I don't believe we are in surplus. Of course, if you don't pay rent, your bank account is going to increase. Basically, we have not been paying rent as a state to address a lot of these socioeconomic issues. And as a tourism-driven Hawaii, tourism is not cutting it. It's not enough to meet all of our socioeconomic needs. We need other sources of income. Self-sustainability, agriculture, sure, I'm all for it. But I believe our immediate needs and more grand scheme of addressing a lot of these public safety and health issues and tackling homelessness, we need bigger means. We need to explore foreign investment, public-private partnership, if you will, in all things solar. That would address renewable issues. That would address a lot of pressing issues that we are having today with rising gasoline prices. Also, we have to explore and invite gaming to the island. Not in a big grand scale like Vegas or Macau, but in a scale that we can control in a limited basis, because gaming will bring hundreds of millions of dollars to our economy, and it has to be voted upon. We would invite offers from 3 major gaming industry and pick the best one that suits us and offer it to the people and let the people decide and vote on what to do. We need to do it, and we need to explore it. Not just simply talk about it and pass it to the next legislature or next session. We need to do it now. We need to benefit everybody. Who does these issues benefit? Who doesn't they benefit? So we need to explore means to do it. We need to have a definite, comprehensive poverty assistance program to address all these needs. We must not rely on federal government handouts, and we must not raise taxes on middle class. They're overburdened enough. I'm hoping next time this year our socioeconomic issues are better. I'm hoping next time this year a lot of homeless issues have become better. But for us to do that, we need to act now, not just simply talking about it or postpone it. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for Ō'lelo for having me, and God keep you safe. Thank you.
Aloha. My name is Sam Puletasi, and I'm running for the Lieutenant Governor position here in the state of Hawaii. First and foremost, we must always give thanks to our Heavenly Father for His guidance and blessings upon all of us. The Hawaii state motto is "Wa mau ke eo ka aina I ka pono." The phrase was adopted in 1959 as the motto of the state. It roughly translates to, "The life of the land is perpetuated in righteousness." The role and status of Lieutenant Governor serves in a dual capacity. First, as overseeing the capital for all purposes of the provincial government, and secondly, as a federal officer in discharging certain functions on behalf of the federal government. The Lieutenant Governor opens prerogatives and dissolves the Legislative Assembly, which can dictate much of the state policy by influencing which bills move forward and which ones die. The duties of Lieutenant Governor serves as chairman of the Legislative Budget Board and the Legislative Council, and is vice chairman of the Legislative Audit Committee and the Legislative Education Board. It may be an uphill road for any of us competing effectively for the Lieutenant Governor's seat this year. I ran for this position in 2014 against many of the finance opponents such as Shansetsui, Mary Sanaki, and many, although I'm running a zero budget campaign. I ran twice for the Congressional District 1, as well as both state and House Senate. Again, all of those past elections I participated were zero budget, and the issues presented are still the same issues the state are battling with, mainly the high cost of living, homelessness, healthcare, education, corruption, and given the pandemic crisis, almost every issue are now at stake. In viewing my opponent's views on their stances, one claims she has never run for office before. Another shared that he is the only candidate that is not a career politician, and praised that he is the only one that will handle corruption. Another candidate previously resigned from his city council position, and another candidate indicates that she is a career politician and that she had been serving for a decade as State House. And I say to myself, man, I better jump back in the ring and run again, because I'm not a career politician. I'm the longest serving party member for the Democratic, serving as a region chair, district council, and I've been in an executive committee and an investigative committee censoring candidates for party rules violations, especially those that did not meet the requirements to run as a Democrat. And I spearheaded many party events and community service such as homeless, disability, veterans, equality, holidays, the seniors, and the sick. Furthermore, my experience stands from my time as former federal agent, who actually presented criminal prosecution cases before U.S. district juries and judges for true bills and obtained convictions. I've dealt with many violators throughout the United States and its continent, as well as every island of Hawaii. I'm familiar with every neighbor island since I've traveled there many times throughout my years of service with the federal government. I used to receive numerous vaccinations during my employment, since I used to work with physicians in providing treatment and quarantine illegal aliens who were tested positive for diseases at the time of their entry. I was diagnosed with Guillain-Barré syndrome, similar to what President FDR was diagnosed with. The cost of GPS, according to research, is linked to vaccination. Accordingly, new surveillance data from the Vaccine Safety Data Link confirmed significant risk for GBS after receiving Johnson & Johnson's COVID-19 vaccine. Due to mandates, I became fully vaccinated with the hope that I won't get relapse. Thank God I'm still alive. Foremost, I never solicited any funds for my campaign, nor that I could care for anyone to endorse me. Vote for me as your Lieutenant Governor, and I will not let you down, as I will be honored to serve as your Lieutenant Governor for our state of Hawaii. Thank you very much.